I would really like to tell you that there was some grand concept that flowed from our minds and imagination that led to the word Westlake and the name Westlake. But that's not the case. What I can probably best tell you in the way of our process that led to us with the notion of coming up with the name Westlake was ingrained with the process of what we do anyway. And so what do I mean by that? You know, we always try to look at the past to inform us about how we should be dealing with the present.
Days it was owned by Cowrie Judge Grove. Jim Cowrie was one of the principals. He was the managing partner for years, and he saw the vision of the Grove here, and he bought the property, and with a group of investors. So all those years it ran, and so you fast forward to, I think it was in 13. In 13, I think, is when Minto came in and they bought the property. We've really been a development from the inception of the property. It was developed, but we just happened to have it for citrus. And now we're converting it to its highest and best use. Unfortunately, we had a series of diseases and things affect our grove that started back really hitting us in the 90s. We went from a glut of fruit, then we had the more significant ones that came in was what everyone knows about is canker, citrus canker, and they didn't know how to handle it, so we lost hundreds and hundreds of acres that they had to burn, cut out and burn, because that was the protocol of the day, and at a time when pricing wasn't great. And then we came right behind that, we lost a lot of acres, and then we had the Asian greening disease that came through. They call it greening, and when it got to our property, it ran across it like wildfire. And the problem with that, and people say, well, why don't you just replant? It wasn't feasible because there's so many people living around our outside area that, and they all have citrus trees and they all have it. There's so much inoculum in the entire area that it just didn't make sense to replant citrus. And so we're a relatively rocky piece of soil. Farming, we have areas that we're farming that work really well, but they're a big chunk of it. It wouldn't be one great big row crop farm. So development becomes the highest and best use of the real estate.
With that, we, early on when we began to come up with the master plan, the physical form of Westlake, we embarked on this journey, this study of these other projects. And clearly you can't do that undertaking without understanding where you're currently situated. So clearly we're situated between North Lake Boulevard to the north, Southern Boulevard to the south. And so, right away you begin to get this feel of the cardinal directions that are named and ingrained with some of the major highways that are around us, for example. And so that was just, a fact that just kind of resonated with us in the back of our mind, and we were cognizant of that. We also knew in some capacity that there would be a significant amount of water features, which is part and parcel with any modern development you would do today, that you have to accommodate a significant amount of water, right? So we knew there was going to be this blue water element with the community, and a significant amount of it, in fact. And then we also looked from a community planning perspective to some really tried and true, well-proven type of communities. For example, Weston, right? And so, which is in Broward County, on the western edge of Broward County. And oddly enough, if you drew a line straight due north from Weston, we're at that same path due north of Weston. And so we studied Weston as well as a bunch of other Arvida communities, as well as some more contemporary communities. And so when we began to sit down and reflect on that body of knowledge, the cardinal directions, North Lake, Southern, Weston Lake, Westlake, it just flowed.
Basically, the original vision that was set up, Westlake with the vision of Minto, and as we were incorporating and working on all the background, was to create a community that would be in what I would term as the sweet spot. When you go out looking for a home anywhere in Palm Beach County, we're in the average price range for a brand new home. Other places you find the same price range, but you have a home that may be 5, 10, 15, 20 years old that you have to go in and renovate or update. So therefore we become a better value for a brand new home. Secondly, with the amenity center that's here, put on by the HOA and the master HOA, the quality of life style is much better. We have a community that you can circulate in, that people can talk to each other, that has the amenities right here. As far as business, again, quick process on the plats, permitting, and tax rate is in the middle of all the county municipalities in the county.
Well, most of the things that we are doing are still things that are done in most all the cities. The thing that really makes us unique is that most cities have their own building department, their own planning and zoning departments. They have their own city maintenance departments, and all these things that are done by the cities, they have to have their own HR people, and they have their own insurance and all the other things that you have to run a business. One of the great things about this city is we only have the contractor that we hired here to deal with. If we need to make adjustments to our everyday maintenance schedules, or we need to, business slows down, we don't need to build as much, so we don't need as many building department officials. We don't need as many inspections. And all these things reduce the cost of government. And I think that we've kind of put ourselves out there, and not like kind of, we have put ourselves out there as being innovative. And I believe that other cities can take this as an idea that they may want to incorporate.
I live in Westlake, so it's easy for a big nameless, faceless company to come in and execute a business plan. I think at a very senior level in my organization, including me, we're invested, and it means a lot to us, so we care a lot about it. And in the future, I hope that level of care and attention and passion that we all are in the midst of doing and delivering today is evident and is recognized and maybe in some level appreciated because we're here and we're part of the community, and I can't imagine having done anything different.
Oh, 20 years from now in Westlake, what do I see? I see a thriving community with a mixed demographics, which we already have, along with sufficient commercial to support not only Westlake but the surrounding communities, which will provide a vibrant center in the western part of Palm Beach County.
I believe it's very important for the city to have a home that's worthy of a city that's coming up into the future. Being that it is a very innovative city, we are actually looking to make the City Hall a centerpiece for our community.
There are a number of things that we've done that I think have never been done before, and has really been innovative, that really affects affordability and people's ability to come to Westlake. And I think that's been key to our success today. And I would really like to think that that would be the legacy that we're all remembered by.